What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the LV Raider 10 YouTube channel. And today we're going to go ahead and look forward to our game against the Cincinnati Bengals, week number 9, Bengals versus Raiders. The Raiders go ahead and take on Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Las Vegas Raiders take to the road this week off to the jungle to take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who still have time despite taking their 5th loss last week.
37-17, that's a 20.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals had a tough loss last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost by, I think it was 20 points, and it was just a tough loss for them. They dropped down to, I believe it is 3 and 5. And yeah, the Bengals are just not looking good this year, so I expect a tough game for the Raiders upcoming. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Point win for the Eagles.
Both squads come in off losses. Cincinnati is a little more hope, sitting on 3 wins. Need Joe Burrow to bounce back. 1 touchdown, 1 pick, sub-90 rate versus Philadelphia, just 6.3 yards per attempt.
Gonna take a deep shot, wide open. Catch is made by Eric All Jr.
Didn't have
Yeah, Joe Burrow has actually been having a pretty decent season despite all of the losing. I know that a lot of people have him for a dark horse MVP candidate as of right now.
T. Higgins loaded up on Jamar Chase with a score.
Look at him. He's talking to it. Look at him. Pointing with the thumb. Just go back inside. I've got you.
Just 54 yards on 11 targets, though. Wide receiver Jermaine Burton hauled in a 41-yarder, his only catch. Tight end Mike Gesicki led the team with 73 yards.
At the last moment to Gesicki. Fantastic. First down.
The Vegas defense they face struggled with tight end Travis Kelce, gave up 90 yards and a TD to him, 260-plus yards to Patrick Mahomes, 2 TDs, middle of the pack versus the pass for the season.
After coming in, having not thrown a touchdown in the month of October, 2 today.
Raiders pass rush only sacked Mahomes once. They have a 2-sack average for 2024. Burrow did lose left tackle Orlando Brown last week to injury, so track that one, but just 1 sack taken on 37 pass attempts. Their line not as successful along the ground, though, since
Yeah, the Raiders defensive front, especially Tyree Wilson, has been, improving week by week. And then, of course, we have Max Crosby. So I expect the defensive front for the Raiders to be able to get pressure on Joe Burrow this week.
Cincinnati ran for just 58 yards last week, 2.9 a run on 20 tries.
It's a handoff inside to Chase Brown for nothing.
Watching Joe Mixon keep defenses honest in Houston has been rough. Vegas is giving up 4.6 a run to ball carriers this season, brought that average down last week, held Kareem Hunt to 2.8 a run, 59 yards.
Continues to do a terrific job in the middle for the Raiders.
Not like the Raiders' rush attack is anything to write home about. 33 yards versus Kansas City, just 1.6 per attempt, 21 tries.
Yeah, the Raiders have been abysmal in the running game all year. Definitely between the lowest or maybe probably the second lowest in rushing yards this season. I know Alexander Mattison averaged 1.1 yards per carry. That is not something that you can do if you want to expect to win football games.
And finally brought down by Najee Johnson, who took one from the quarterback Minshew.
Bengals defense gave up 4.9 a carry and 108 yards to Saquon Barkley in their loss. 4.3 a run allowed overall, not terrible, not great.
Hurts gives off to Barkley. And there's the big run down to the 28.
Raiders passing attack at least comes in with a little mojo. Got Jacoby Myers back. He scored last week, 52 yards.
And a touchdown for Jacoby Myers.
That gave Gardner Minshew 2 legit options. Brock Bowers the other, led the team with 58 yards, has led them in yards their last 4 games.
And to the air, the tight end Bowers.
Yeah, bringing back Jacoby Myers last week, he had a huge game for the Raiders. Picked up some great third down conversions when we needed them. Of course, we couldn't convert it into touchdowns, but still, nonetheless, he had some big catches down the stretch. And then, of course, Brock Bowers. He's been one of the best tight ends in the entire NFL. The best tight end in the NFL, actually, I should say. But yeah, hopefully we can take advantage, feed those 2 guys the ball. Hopefully we can expose a Cincinnati secondary that has been pretty okay to mediocre throughout this season so far.
Minshew utilized DJ Turner, Trey Tucker, Alexander Madison for 26 to 29 yards each. Uncle Rico finished with 209 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks, acceptable 7 yards per attempt, nice 117.9 rate on 24 of 30 passing versus a very good Kansas City defense.
Gardner Minshew did a great job of not turning the ball over for the entire game up until the fourth quarter where he had the fumble, which eventually did make the Raiders lose this game. But if he can go ahead and limit those turnovers like he did against the Kansas City Chiefs, I feel really good about this game.
Turner.
Cincinnati's pass defense gave up 50-plus yards to tight end Grant Calcaterra, 80-plus yards to both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, 230-plus to Jalen Hurts on 11.8 per attempt, a 130-plus rating allowed.
Fly, Eagles, fly into the end zone.
Their secondary usually tougher than that. Pass rush, not so much. 0 sacks of Hurts on 20 pass attempts. Only hit him once. They have 12 bags in 2024, only 3 teams with fewer.
He fakes. He's back. He's looking. He's still looking. He is firing. Wide open. Complete.
Minshew sacked 5 times by Kansas City, 25 taken for 2024, only 2 teams with more.
The Raiders trick themselves and turn the ball over.
Raiders 2-6, not dead yet. Since 1990, teams that got to 3-6 made the playoffs 5% of the time. 2-7, that's 1%. Bengals trying to avoid being part of the 5% group. They get to 4-5 would give them a 16% chance at least. Raiders Bengals 21-13 in favor of Oakland, LA, Las Vegas. 1975 divisional round. Ken Anderson led a late comeback, throws 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Ken Stabler's 3 touchdowns too much to overcome. Madden's boys took it 31-28.
Okay, so everybody obviously has the Bengals winning, but I think this game is going to be a lot closer. The Bengals are not a tough team. This is an extremely winnable game. If we can play how we played against the Kansas City Chiefs with the tenacity on defense at least, we need to find something offensively. But if we can go ahead and expose the Cincinnati Bengals secondary offensively and then come with a tenacity that we did against the Kansas City Chiefs on defense, I think that this game could be won, and it most likely should be won by the Raiders. Obviously, Joe Burrow is the X factor here, considering he is the better quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But yeah, I still have faith in the Raiders. I actually do think the Raiders will get a win here. I think we're going to shock everybody. Everyone here has the Bengals winning, and I think we're going to go ahead and shock everyone and get a win. All right, everyone. Well, that is the preview. I do think the Raiders have a chance of winning this game. I think the Raiders have a great chance of winning this game, actually. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Also, some other news. I will be actually at the Cincinnati game in Cincinnati. So if you go ahead and see me, go ahead. Don't be afraid to come up, and I'll be shooting some content. If you're going to be at the game, just go ahead and shoot me a DM. If you want to meet up and make some content there, yeah, I'm totally down. In other news, I have a brand new podcast. Our first episode was just this past Wednesday. It's going to be with me and Jeff, the president of the New England Raiders Booster Club. So go ahead and look out for that. We'll be going live every Wednesday, either on my YouTube channel or on his YouTube channel over there. So go ahead and make sure to follow him. It's going to be at New England_Raiders Boosters on Instagram. And yeah, go ahead and just follow us up there. Stay tuned for our podcast. But thank you, Raider Nation, and just win, baby.